4th down and 6. Olbridge gotta have it. Shotgun formation. Nugent, a lot of time. Rolls out. He's running out of space. Will roll the other way. They look, corner of the end zone. Touchdown!
Rowan heading for the touchpad with the lead, and the props will take the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
Andrews will be in shotgun. He takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He'll throw it down the left sideline. He's got a wide open receiver. He's got the touchdown.
Motion man is Simmons. Trotman throwing towards Simmons down the field, and he makes the catch in traffic for a Bearcats touchdown.
Back to pass, middle of the field. The catch is made by Britt. She's off to the races at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Britt is in for the score.
Back on in, here's Yoxon. Yoxon to the backhand, trying to go to the front, makes the move and shot, and he scores!
And Gracie comes set and delivers. And that's it on the ground to second. Throw to first, in time, and the ball game is over. South Shore survives a late scare, and they are the 2024 New York State Little League Baseball champions. Live from Great Kills Little League in Staten Island, New York, the PDF Sports Network is proud to welcome you back in to coverage of the 2025 New York State Little League Baseball Championship. In Game 10 of pool play, our semifinalists will be decided as Scotia Glenville Little League takes on St. James-Smithtown Little League. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Joe Foreman alongside Nicholas Bavona on the call. And Nick, in Game 1, South Shore fell behind against Penfield early, but they came storming back in large part due to a pair of big home runs, a 3-run shot, a solo shot. They tacked on one more, and they withstood a 6th-inning Penfield rally to win by a final score of 5-4. That keeps the door open for Scotia Glenville. We'll talk a bit more throughout the game about what needs to happen. But, Nick, this game is winning in for St. James-Smithtown. Scotia Glenville needs to win and do so by, I believe, at least 3 runs. But we will go through those scenarios shortly. What are you looking for out of this game, Nick?
I think it's going to come down to, Joe, some of these offenses are going to have to really play, to the point where you might have to score a certain amount of runs to win today. Because as we know, run ratio and all that stuff, that is a factor into some of these tiebreakers. And for Scotia Glenville, they're just happy to be here, Joe, because they needed that South Shore win in Game 1 to get to this portion. They are now here. Can they get the job done, though?
Well, taking a look very quickly, Nick, Scotia Glenville is the home team. We'll get you their lineup shortly as Logan Francis takes to the mound, facing Chase Saxon to get us started. His first pitch, ball 1. That pitch in for a strike. So for Scotia Glenville, if they were to walk this game off and win by 3, that would for sure push them forward, as that pitch is swung on and missed. They are separated right now from SJS by 2 runs allowed. Both teams have 11 defensive innings. SJS has allowed 9 runs in 11 defensive innings. Scotia Glenville has allowed 11 runs in 11 defensive innings. So right now, SJS with the advantage. And that pitch is in for a called strike 3 as Chase Saxon goes down looking to open up the game.
And you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think for the other team involved, Penfield, who we just saw in Game 1, Joe, they're basically hoping for an offensive shootout in this game between these two teams.
That's their only shot, Nick. They need a slugfest. They've allowed 19 runs in 18 defensive innings.
And the bulk of that coming in Game 1 of pool play when they allowed 11 runs to this SJS unit.
Dominic Simonello, the batter, swung and missed at the first pitch, 0-1. And that's chopped foul. He's quickly in a 2-strike hole. But to my point, Nick, if Scotia Glenville was to win this in walk-off fashion by 3 runs, that would absolutely do it for them. But that's tough to do as the home team to win by 3 in walk-off fashion. If they were to win by 2 and this game only went 5.5, that would be giving them 1 extra inning in the field. So that would be good enough as well because they would have an extra defensive inning. As that one's fouled away. So by 3 via walk-off would break the tie. By 2 in 5.5 would be enough because they would get an extra defensive inning in the 6th. and that would give them an advantage if both teams allow the same number of runs. So win by 2 in 5.5 or walk-off win by 3 in 6. The second option obviously much tougher. As that's bounced toward the middle, sliding stop on the backhand. Patnaud's throw not in time. Good effort on the infield by the Scotia Glenville second baseman, but beating that out for an infield hit is Dominic Simonello.
Good job by Simonello right there, as you mentioned, Joe, running down that first base line, just getting there in the nick of time. Patnaud did make a nice play, just missed it, getting that out. First pitch there to Jeremy Katz in their first strike. Count goes to 0-1.
That's all right.
0-1 from Francis. It's on the inside, 1-1.
Right, Nick? We just got a scheduling update regarding our semifinal matchup. So the American pool, originally on our schedule, is playing at 11:30, is going to play at 9 o'clock tomorrow. The national pool will be the second game at 11:30 as opposed to 9 a.m. So if there was a schedule circulating that had the reverse of that, the original schedule saying national pool 9 o'clock, American pool 11:30. That has now been flipped as that gets away. The runner headed for second, and Simonello just got under that tag as Patnaud went down, but he is okay. A pair of number 34s come together on the infield, though. That was actually the shortstop covering, so it was not Patnaud. Patnaud was backing up.
That was Colbeth.
That was Colbeth on the cover. 2 34s in the vicinity, Nick.
Yeah.
Count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jeremy Katz. And he swings and misses for strike 3.
Well, Joe, how big of an out is that? Because we saw what Jeremy Katz did yesterday in the home run derby, delivering some towering shots. Huge strikeout right there for the second out of the inning.
Second punch out of the inning for Logan Francis. Cleanup hitter Ryan Delgado at the plate. And that one's fouled back, and Delgado's had himself a nice week thus far. Left-handed batter at the plate here with 2 away and a runner in scoring position as he takes outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
We've already seen today, Joe, wild pitches play a factor into one of these games. At a word, South Shore, their go-ahead run, which gave them the win. 2 wild pitches in that 6th inning, a sacrifice fly, and that was the difference of the first game of pool play here today.
Count 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Delgado. Simonello, the runner over at second, reached via an infield single. The 1-2. Bounced on the ground, left side and down the line. It rolls into left field. It took a wicked hop over the glove of Estacio, and Delgado's still going as the throw got away at the plate. I believe he will be credited with a single, an advance on the throw, and then an error to let that ball get away.
Well, Joe, if you were looking towards home plate, when the runner was going all the way around, the catcher was trying to cover the bag, or the play, I should say. That was Quinn, and they got caught in a little bit of a tangle-up towards home plate, and because of that, that allowed the ball to go past the catcher Quinn and allows Delgado to go over to third. It's 1-0 SJS.
And that gets to the backstop, and it's trapped in the padding, so Delgado will score.
How about that?
That ball out of play. Now, if a ball gets lodged in the backstop, what do the ground rules dictate?
Well, we saw that sequence in Game 1. I'm not sure exactly where the ball got stuck. They're going to have a conversation about this now.
It depends on the ground rules, Nick.
Yeah. I don't know where it got stuck underneath where we're situated in right field.
It got stuck in between the wall and the padding outside of the frame of our camera. So there are 2 pads on that backstop with the letters GK for great kills. You see the right pad. And, Nick, I'm actually going to take our outfield camera. I'll zoom in on exactly where it got stuck. You might want to wait until I get there.
We did lose our pitcher batter camera for just a moment, so we do apologize for that.
It got stuck behind the GK on the left. That's on your screen now if you want to switch over, Nick. And if the pitcher batter camera doesn't return, I may have to head out to center field. But what I'll do now is get you a pitcher batter view from our perspective as that's hit in the air.
Just return now.
All right, good. So we'll get back in the outfield. I'm not sure if you flashed it up on the screen, Nick, where that ball was stuck, but it got stuck behind the left pad. They did send Delgado back. That pitch swung on and missed. Andrew Barbado now behind 1 ball and 2 strikes. The task for SJS is simple. You win, and you're in. As Barbado strikes out, we will head to the bottom of the first, but not before the Bulls tack on the game's first run. It comes home on a 2-out RBI single by Ryan Delgado. SJS over Scotia Glenville, 1-0.
Awards and Trophy Center is proud to sponsor this week's New York State Little League Championship. Located at 1600 Highland Boulevard on Staten Island, we pride ourselves in not only building trophies, but building relationships as we service our community and treat you like family. Your event and its achievements deserve the best. That's why Country Awards and Trophy Center is ready to work with all of our clients to make your event a memorable one, with awards, trophies, and gifts that make a lasting impression. Come see why we love our customers and they love us. Visit us today.
And we are back from Great Kills Little League, where St. James-Smithtown leads Scotia Glenville by a score of 1-0. And Nick, we touched on it as we were about to get underway. For SJS, the task is simple. If they win, they are in because they will move to 2-1. South Shore is now 3-0 following their win over Penfield. Penfield now 1-2. So if SJS were to win, that would send Scotia Glenville to 0-3. And by virtue of their record alone, SJS would move on to the semifinal. However, if SJS were to lose this game and lose by 1 run or fewer, they can't lose by fewer. If they were to lose by 1 run, they would be okay. If they lose by 2 and the game goes a full 6, then both teams would have the same runs allowed total in the same number of defensive innings. So again, they would have to lose by 2 in walk-off fashion. So it would have to be a walk-off 2-run homer. That gives you a big advantage if you're SJS in that spot, because hypothetically, and Nick, you hate to think of it this way, but if there's a threat of losing this game, you have a tie game. You're in the 6th inning. If you're threatened and could lose on a home run, you could walk home the winning run, lose by 1, and move on.
Do you intentionally walk?
You walk home the winning run, you lose by 1, and you move on.
Yeah, you could.
Because you would have a 3-way tie at 1 and 2 in that case. That would be broken by run ratio. And they would win that. Now, let's assume that they were to lose by 2 via walk-off fashion. In that case, both SJS and Scotia Glenville would be in the same place in terms of runs allowed in defensive innings. Penfield would be removed in that scenario, I would assume, from a 3-way tiebreaker. And now you have a 2-way tie. If it then reverted to head-to-head, would the team that wins this game get in? That's my question. If run ratio doesn't break the tie, would then the head-to-head from the 2 remaining teams break it? I don't know. I'm sure our live chat will have plenty to say about that. That one fouled away by Andrew Patnaud, leadoff hitter for Scotia Glenville. The count 2-1 on him. But that is as much as we'll talk about the scenarios moving forward. Hopefully that plate now. And that's lined right back into the glove of Katz.
Now, Joe, I will note right now, I don't know if it's because of what's happening in center field, that camera in center, the capture right now is frozen.
Unfortunately, Nick, that usually means our stream is frozen.
Okay.
But hopefully that returns. What we'll do, we'll get the outfield camera on pitcher and batter again. 2 away in the inning now. Logan Francis, the batter.
I'll just move that while I stay on the infield.
All right, should be good to switch now, Nick.
And right on cue, the camera came back.
All right. Wireless technology can be fickle. That pitch in there for a strike. Count 1-2. For those experiencing issues with the audio level, perhaps coming through a bit too loud, we have an audio monitor on site as that swung on and missed for strike 3 by Francis. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jeremy Katz. But for those who may be experiencing issues with audio pops, we have an audio monitor. We're at the right place, so make sure you turn down your volume to about midway on your television or mobile device. That should help with any potential audio spikes. But we are through one from Great Kills. Our score, 1-0, SJS over Scotia Glenville.
New York State Little League Championship is proud to have Dave & Buster's as a proud sponsor. Where are you going after the game? There's only one place with delicious food, ice-cold drinks, games on the big screen, and fun for the whole family. Food and drink specials are available all week with the latest video games and the biggest arcade on the island. Redeem tokens for great prizes and come back often because Dave & Buster's is the place to be for game day and all the days in between. Turn on the fun with Dave & Buster's on Staten Island.
And we are back from Great Kills Little League, where St. James-Smithtown leads Scotia Glenville by a score of 1-0. We begin the top half of the second inning with Logan Francis back to the mound for Scotia Glenville. His team trailing by a run, but Nick, if you're SJS, of course, the task is simple. Win and you are in. They are off to a nice start, and will send 6, 7, and 8 to the plate here in the second.
Well, that's the only scenario, Joe, that is right now that we know at least of what team could get in. The other scenario we already mentioned about just a few moments ago. But, yeah, for SJS, it's simple. You just win this game, you move on to the semifinals. You're one of the last 4 teams remaining and have a chance to move on to the Metro Regional in Bristol.
Leading things off will be Eric Hansen, right fielder for the Bulls. Right-handed batter steps in against Logan Francis. First pitch of the second inning is fouled back, and the count is 0-1. The 0-1 pitch on its way. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Scotia Glenville, Joe, in that first game of the day, had to sweat out that game because of how the way it went. South Shore trailing 2-0, as you mentioned. Back-to-back home runs put them up 4-2. Penfield did bring the bases loaded with 1 out. Then a double play ball ended that chance. They had a chance in the 6th. Were not able to bring the tying run to the home.
And there's the third strikeout of the game for Logan Francis. Hansen set down swinging for the first out. That will bring up Kevin Moran. But you're right, Nick. If you're Scotia Glenville, there was plenty riding on that early game. If Penfield had won it, there's no way for a 3-way tie at 1-2, and your hopes of a semifinal berth are gone.
We've only had to play spoiler in this game.
That swing was held by Kevin Moran. Count 1-0. That pitch in for a strike, 1-1. That's bounced to third, handled cleanly, and the throw to first is in time. 2 gone.
Good start of the inning right here for Logan Francis, who we mentioned, Joe. Both of these starting pitchers here today took part in the home run derby. They were 2 of the 3 finalists in that home run derby. Cats, as I also mentioned, won the derby. Francis, though, had to win 3 tiebreakers just to even get to the final.
First pitch to James Santelli taken for a strike, 0-1. He had a lot of swings leading up to that spot in the finals, and I think it was clear they took their toll. Not an easy thing to do. He had 3 rounds of 5 swings, then had to take 10 more as part of the final. And that one sails over the head of Santelli. Watch out.
Not only that, but now he has to come back around here the next day and pitch with his team's season on the line.
One, 2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. That is 5 punch-outs for Logan Francis. And we are through 1.5 at Great Kills. Our score, SJS 1 and Scotia Glenville 0.
The Staten Island Ferry Hawks are proud to be a sponsor of this year's New York State Little League Championship because one championship organization deserves another. Come check out another amazing season with us at Staten Island University Hospital Community Ballpark with great ticket and group deals, theme nights, and fireworks displays. Good luck to all of our teams this week from your friends at the Staten Island Ferry Hawks. We'll see you at the game.
NYS Industrial is your all-in-one supply and tool store for commercial, industrial, and domestic industries. A leader in HVAC supply stores, K&S provides various building and maintenance supplies for office buildings, industrial plants, schools, homes, and more. We also specialize in getting our customers hard-to-find items. If you're looking for HVAC supply stores that also offer anything else you might need, look no further than K&S Industrial. If they make it, we'll get it. K&S Industrial.
And we are back from great kills for the bottom half of the second inning. Scotia Glenville trailing against St. James-Smithtown by a score of 1-0. Scotia Glenville will send Jackson Quinn, Ian Krawinski, and Kellen Arquette to the plate in the bottom half of inning number 2.
4, 5, and 6, as you mentioned, to start this home second. Want to get some runs early in this one, Joe. I feel like if you're Scotia Glenville, you don't want to put yourselves, as this game goes on, where you're thinking to yourselves, well, we need some runs, one, but we also need a certain amount of runs potentially also to make it even to the semifinals. So I think if Scotia Glenville, if you're in this spot here in the second, I think now is the time you want to start scoring.
And I think for Scotia Glenville, the primary objective outside of winning this game, of course, is that if you do win it, you need to build that lead before the final inning, and that lead has to be multiple runs. Going to have an equipment adjustment here from the batter Jackson Quinn. Looks like his cleat came untied.
He also was a part of that derby where he was in that tiebreaker scenario, but lost to his teammate Logan Francis.
He looks all set and ready to go. Katz comes set and delivers. Way upstairs and to the backstop, ball 1. The 1-0. Fouled off. Katz, of course, the winner of the home run derby yesterday. Does it all. Big bat and a big arm.
He's pitching in a big spot as well.
Sure is. Sure is. His team's semifinal hopes on the line. That pitch in there for a called strike, 1-2.
Another great turnout here, great kills. Both teams represented very well by our other fans.
It's tough during the week, during work hours, to make it down and take in these games. That's what we're here for, Nick. But those who did make the trip, especially a couple days ago and again today, as that swung on and missed for strike 3. And Quinn is the third Scotia Glenville batter that Katz has struck out. But the fans who have come out both today and especially on Monday have been treated to some great games, some thrilling finishes in the last several pool play matchups. Ian Krawinski at the plate. He's way out in front of the breaking ball, 0-1.
Tell what he was looking for on that swing. Got fooled by that breaking ball. Count 0-1.
The 0-1 from Katz. And another breaking ball had Krawinski way out in front.
Well, you think he goes back to it here on 0-2?
I would. Don't throw it for a strike, but I'd go back to it.
He might go fastball here, Joe, to fool him.
He might. I'd go breaking ball again. Looked like he tried to locate the fastball downstairs. After those two swings, I would have thrown one out of the zone.
See if it goes back to here on 1-2.
That was the off speed. This time, Krawinski waits back on it.
Thought for a second he didn't get a piece of it. Just barely did.
Just barely. Just barely. That one out of the zone. And Krawinski has worked it even, 2-2. Swung on and missed. Katz came back with the heat that time, and he has his fourth punch out.
Katz so far cruising through these first couple of batters here in this game. Another punch out right there.
Kellen Arquette, the batter. Comes to the plate with 2 out, nobody on. Francis with 5 strikeouts for Scotia Glenville. Cats with a chance to match him here through 2 innings as he deals strike 1. The 0-1. Popped up on the infield. Who's got it? It is the shortstop that makes that play. Ranging over to his left was Barbado, and that will do it for Scotia Glenville in the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, and we head to the third. SJS in front, 1-0.
When it comes to sports, why be good when you can be legendary? At Legend Sporting Goods in Brooklyn, we service the community with only the best custom apparel, embroidery, and service, specializing in youth sports, so that the leaders of today become the legends of tomorrow. We're proud to support all of this week's great athletes and invite everyone to check us out and make us a part of your team. Come see why Legend Sporting Goods is in a class by itself. Visit us online or call us now.
Staten Island Academy is the only pre-K through 12 independent school on Staten Island. And it really is designed for students to go through the entire educational experience in one setting.
What the Academy seeks to do is take every student to accelerate their gifts and their strengths and to find those gifts and strengths that are yet unknown.
I think the community is something that you can't match anywhere else. It just makes you feel comfortable doing what you like to do every single day.
And we are back from Great Kills Little League. 1-0 our score in Game 10 of pool play. This one between St. James-Smithtown Little League and Scotia Glenville Little League. It is a must-win for Scotia Glenville. For St. James-Smithtown, they have the advantage of a 2-run advantage in runs allowed should it come down to a tiebreaker, so they have that cushion to lean back on. But so far, Nick, they don't need it in front 1-0.
The early pitchers duel between these two starters. You know what they have in their bats from yesterday's derby. And they have come back here today with some good strikeouts so far.
Lucas Costas leads things off for St. James-Smithtown here in the third. And he takes outside for ball 2.
Very important outs here, right, for Joe Francis. He'll face the bottom 3 of this lineup, 9, 10, and 11.
That pitch in for a strike. Well, Nick, we've yet to see a walk in this game, and we've yet to see a wild pitch or pass ball that has allowed a runner to advance, something that we've seen quite a bit of over the course of the week. And you take a look at the teams that have done a good job with command out on the mound, those are the teams that have had success.
See if Francis can get another punch out right here. It's now even at 2.
He's gotten a lot of swings and misses thus far. Looking for one more here, and that's fouled back. It stays 2-2. Costas, Borowski, and Rocco. As Nick mentioned, the 9, 10, 11 spots due up here in the road third. And that off-speed pitch missed high for ball 3. The payoff pitch. And that's in at the knees for a called strike 3. Costas goes down looking. 6th strikeout for Logan Francis, and there's one away.
Another punch out, as you mentioned, number 6 for Quinn, and, or excuse me, for Francis, Joe. And, you know, you have to look at it like this. I mean, this is what you needed if you're Scotia Glenville. You're getting a good start on the mound. But now it needs to come down to they need to get some runs also in the next half inning.
I said it before, Nick. They need to enter the final inning with a lead, or it becomes very, very difficult for them. And that lead needs to be at least 2 runs. And they're going to say that JT Borowski held that swing. Count even 1 ball and 1 strike. But even if they enter the final inning with a lead of 2, that would be enough. So if they can close it out and win by 2, that is. Can't win by 1. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Another strikeout for Logan Francis, his 7th.
When you can strike out 7 of the first 10 hitters you see, Joe, you're at a great pace. It's been a dominant start for Francis. He's thrown 44 pitches so far in this game. He's got 2 outs here in the 3rd.
Hard to believe he's trailing in this game as that's bunted up the line by Gary Rocco. Foul ball. Rocco, one of 2 extra hitters in the SJS lineup. That bunt attempt draws the corners in a bit, and he fouls that one straight back.
Quickly an 0-2 count here. A chance for Francis, Joe, to get a 1-2-3 inning, all on strikeouts.
Here comes the 0-2. And Francis has struck out the side. For the 2nd time in this game, Logan Francis punches out 3 in a single inning. He has struck out the last 4, and he now has 8 strikeouts in the game. His team, however, still trailing by a run. They come to bat behind 1-0.
This tournament would not be possible without the great support of the Staten Island Advance. Not only does the Staten Island Advance have full coverage of the tournament, but we are committed to covering Island youth sports year-round and all news close to home. Pick up the paper today and look for great subscriber deals now for our loyal readership. Visit us online at silive.com for news and photos of this week's tournament and all the breaking news on Staten Island, the nation, and the world. The news of Staten Island is the Staten Island Advance and silive.com.
And we are back from Great Kills Little League with a reminder that you can enjoy the New York State Little League Baseball Championship all week long, completely free on YouTube. However, if you grow tired of YouTube ads or you just want to support Great Kills Little League and the PDF Sports Network, you can purchase our premium pass on Boxcast. Enjoy the entire week's slate live and on demand, free of all YouTube ads, and connect with Nick and I via the Boxcast live chat, all for just $5. Proceeds from sales of our premium pass go to Great Kills Little League and the PDF Sports Network. You can purchase the full week of premium access for just $5 by visiting the link in the description on our YouTube videos or by scanning the QR code on your screen. But Nick, here in Game 10 of pool play, we are waiting to find out which team will be our next semifinalist. And right now, SJS with the 1-0 lead, hoping to hold on to that lead as Scotia Glenville comes to the plate.
Scotia Glenville, not only, Joe, looking for their first run, but they're also looking for their first hit. But a good start to this game for both of these starters. We've seen Francis with a bunch of strikeouts. He has 8. Katz also has a bunch of strikeouts. I believe you have his tally so far, what he has.
Katz enters this half inning with 4 punch-outs against 6 batters. Francis has recorded 9 outs in this game, 8 of them via strikeout, as that swung on and missed by Joe Anastasio for strike 1. Anastasio, Bodden, and Mazzone due up for Scotia Glenville. As you mentioned, Nick, still in search of their first hit. And that cut looked defensive as Anastasio falls behind 0-2.
That fastball from Katz has been a problem so far for these hitters.
And that pitch is taken 1-2. The 1-2. Up and in. That's some chin music right there, and
that was strike 3, Joe.
Called a strike.
He did take another defensive swing somewhat.
So he went around.
He did, yeah.
Okay, he went around. So Anastasio goes down on strikes, could not hold up the swing as he tried to get out of the way. And that's fouled off by Jackson Bodden, 0-1. Katz working quickly out of the stretch. The 0-1. On the outside corner, 0-2. And the breaking ball is swung on and missed for strike 3. Back-to-back punch-outs for Katz. 2 away in the inning.
Give him now 6 in this game.
Can't ask for much more out of Katz if you're SJS in a huge game. Now, how many pitches did he begin that at bat with, Nick?
I think he only threw 3 in that bat, if I'm not mistaken.
So he would have began the at bat at 25. Will they let him go past 35?
I don't know. The problem is you're also in a spot where your season could end today, so they have to be careful of that also.
That last pitch, strike 1 call to Anthony Mazzone, extra hitter for Scotia Glenville. Count now even at 1. Looked like JT Borowski wanted that call behind the plate. That's out of the zone again, and Katz thought he had that call as well.
Well, they know about the pitch count at this point, so they're trying to make sure they can get these strike calls.
There's a called strike, 2-2. Two-two. Outside, full count. Logan Francis just struck out the side for Scotia Glenville. Katz trying to match him here on 3-2. And that is a rocket shot foul off of the Scotia dugout.
He's now at 34, Joe.
3-2. Bounced foul. Count remains full, 3-2. Another payoff pitch upcoming from Katz. And he comes up and in, but misses. Ball 4. The zone trying to fire up his dugout, and he does represent a tying run on base with 2 away.
And it potentially could lead to a pitching change right here, Joe.
Yeah, he's over 35. They're not going to let him go past that, Nick. Just as I suspected.
That's indeed the case.
So they want him available for a potential championship game. And you know Katz doesn't want to come out, but that is the right decision, I think. You know, if he's your ace and you need him in a potential championship game, you need to pull him here. That's exactly what they do. So the new pitcher for SJS is going to be Kevin Moran. And with that, we'll head to break. Our score, 1-0, SJS over Scotia Glenville. 2 out in the home third, tying run on first base.
Town Deli, we're glad to be your go-to pizzeria, serving you the best pies, signature sandwiches, and gourmet meals in Staten Island since 1971. Visit us at 5373 Arthur Kill Road to find out why we're the island's best for quick bites and full-sized catering. Whether in person or on location with our food truck making stops and bringing it all to you, Town Deli is where excellence in quality meets taste. Voted the island's best. Stop on in and let us serve you.
We are back from Great Kills Little League. St. James-Smithtown over Scotia Glenville by a score of 1-0. But with a 2-out walk in the bottom half of this third inning, Jeremy Katz eclipsed 35 pitches, and he was removed from the game to keep him available for a potential final. The new pitcher, as we mentioned ahead of the break, is Kevin Moran.
We've already seen pitch once.
That pitch on the outside corner for a called strike 1 to Kellen Keogh. Keogh wants time, and it is granted. The 0-1. Fouled away. Keogh quickly in a 2-strike hole here. Looking for Moran ahead of 0-2. Did he hold? Yes, he did. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. The 1-2. Bounced on the ground, foul down the left field line. Behind Keogh, George Burmaster stands on deck, and after that, it's back to the top of the order for Scotia Glenville. SJS will send the top of the order to the plate in the 4th inning. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. Did it bounce? Well, I don't think Keogh realized he could head to first. There were 2 outs, so even with the base occupied, he could have run, but he gave himself up by heading to the dugout, and that will do it for the 3rd inning. 3 strikeouts in the inning for St. James-Smithtown pitching. Katz and Moran combined to strike out 3. Scotia Glenville strands 1. We head to the 4th, 1-0.
Awards and Trophy Center is proud to sponsor this week's New York State Little League Championship. Located at 1600 Highland Boulevard on Staten Island, we pride ourselves in not only building trophies, but building relationships, as we service our community and treat you like family. Your event and its achievements deserve the best. That's why Country Awards and Trophy Center is ready to work with all of our clients to make your event a memorable one, with awards, trophies, and gifts that make a lasting impression. Come see why we love our customers and they love us. Visit us today.
New York State Little League Championship is proud to have Dave & Buster's as a proud sponsor. Where are you going after the game? There's only one place with delicious food, ice-cold drinks, games on the big screen, and fun for the whole family. Food and drink specials are available all week with the latest video games and the biggest arcade on the island. Redeem tokens for great prizes and come back often because Dave & Buster's is the place to be for game day and all the days in between. Turn on the fun with Dave & Buster's on Staten Island.
And we're back from Great Kills Little League, still in the midst of a 1-0 ball game. St. James-Smithtown leading Scotia Glenville by a single run after 3, and they will send the top of the lineup to the plate. Chase Saxon, Dominic Simonello, and Jeremy Katz due up for the Bulls here in the 4th inning.
Trying to hang on to this 1-0 lead. Right now, dire times for Scotia Glenville, Joe. They need to get some runs.
That one's bunted foul. And they sure do, Nick. As I mentioned before, they need a lead before they come to bat in the bottom of the 6th inning. Otherwise, it becomes very, very difficult for them to win any potential tiebreaker. Time running out quickly. Just a couple more turns at bat before we reach that 6th inning. There's a big swing and a miss. Francis blew that fastball by Saxon. It's 0-2.
Meanwhile, for Penfield, it's getting really dire at this point. Not much time left for an offensive slugfest between these two. But we did see a couple days ago a similar scenario, and that game ended in a 10-9 final.
And, Nick, that first game just completely burned Penfield. The 11 runs they allowed to St. James-Smithtown, just too much to overcome. It's not often you can give up 11 and win that tiebreaker. That's taken up and away. The count 1-2 now. Saxon struck out looking his first time up. And that breaking ball's off the outside corner, 2-2.
That's indeed the case. It's a tough way to go out for Penfield, Joe, because they were a couple outs away from pulling off what you described as would be, to a lot of people, an upset over South Shore.
Well, taking a look, let's assume that they do win that game, but allow 3 runs instead of 5. At that point, they've still allowed 17. If SJS were to win this game, it wouldn't have mattered. At least if they were to win this game by this score.
They would have needed a Scotia Glenville win to get in.
Exactly. Conference on the infield for Scotia. Chase Saxon back in the box. The count now full, 3-2. And he fouls off another.
Lengthy at bat here. It's now 54 pitches.
Well, if you're Scotia Glenville and you know what you need to do in this game, there's no way you can pull Francis anywhere short of the 85 pitch mark. He's pitched really well and has given up just the 2 hits. Those are back in the first. Single to Dominic Simonello, the man on deck, and then an RBI single to Ryan Delgado. Again, Saxon fouls that one back. Three-two. Bounced on the ground. Francis extends, lost his grip on the ball, and Saxon beats the throw. That's going to be an E1. I'm not sure what happened there, but Francis had the ball in his glove and just had trouble securing a grip on it.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, and that's going to, and for Scotia Glenville's case, they hope that doesn't cost them a potential chance to get back into this game. Still in search for their first hit and run.
And they'll fake a pickoff attempt down to first. Now, Nick, I think our infield camera can zoom in a bit more now.
Yeah, I can zoom it in.
Yeah, I don't know how it got so far out. It's not where it started the day. 1-0.
Hit the batter.
Hit him on the hands. So Simonello's hit by the pitch. And just like that, there were 2 on. Still nobody out.
Number 9.
That will bring up Jeremy Katz. Katz 0 for 1, struck out swinging his first time. And he swings and misses here, 0-1. The 0-1 is swung on and missed. So Francis has had the number of Katz thus far. Francis struck out facing Katz. Katz has already struck out versus Francis as he fouls that one back. At the very least, if you're Katz, you're looking to move that lead runner over to third with less than 2 outs. And give those big bats in the middle of the order a chance to get him home. Another 0-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Katz a strikeout victim for the second time, and that's a big first out for Logan Francis and Scotia Glenville.
Big might be an understatement right there, Joe. Huge punch out right there for Francis. Another one in this game for him. Now a double play ball from getting out of the inning.
Ryan Delgado has been such a tough out all week as he fouled that pitch back, but Delgado's hit the ball hard. He's come through with men on base. And if he comes through here, that may send SJS to the semifinal. That's hit in the air down the left field line. Foul ball. The 0-2. Up and away. And the runner takes off for third. And he's in there as he keeps his foot anchored to the bag. They lost the trailing runner. He moves up as well. Good heads-up base running by Simonello and Saxon ahead of him. And that's a complete disaster for Scotia Glenville now. And that nearly allowed the run to come home, but you can't take the chance with just 1 out. They gave Simonello a look over at first, and Saxon did not hesitate. He took off for third, and then on the throw to third, Simonello went to second. The 2-2 pitch. Outside for ball 3.
And now you've lost the opportunity to get the double play ball. You walk him here, you load the bases, and you would think, Joe, with bases loaded, you might move the corner infielders in to prevent the run from scoring and keep the middle infield double play depth.
That's fouled back, and you know, Nick, a walk here is not the worst thing. Delgado's been so good. Andrew Barbado behind him has struck out already against Francis. You get that force at the plate, but we'll see what they do. And they will strike out Delgado in a big, big spot. Francis making a huge pitch right there. He is rightfully fired up. And that is a huge second out.
And you still have first base open, worst case scenario. Big punch-out right there.
Andrew Barbado takes high, ball one. Barbado struck out back in the first. That brought the inning to a close. That pitch is low. It's now 2-0. 2-0. Swung on and missed. Ciminello, the runner on second. Saxon at third. Now 2 outs in the inning. And that's foul back.
Francis now 1 strike away from another huge strikeout, Joe. And this next upcoming pitch will be pitch number 75 of the game.
Francis hoping for a third strike. Won't get it here as that's fouled back. I think given the nature of what they have to do, Nick, needing to win by a certain margin, this is the out they have to have, Scotia Glenville. They've gotten to this point without a run coming home. Another 2-2, and that's hit well out to left field. It lands fair down the line. That rolls all the way to the wall. It is a stand-up 2 RBI double for Andrew Barbado. And St. James-Smithtown now leads it 3-0.
And Joe, that could be the hit that sends SJS into the semifinals. A huge hit off the bat of Barbado brings home 2 runs and a good at bat. He had the cat full, fouled off a couple pitches, and got a big swing in the left field to give his team a 3-run lead.
What a clutch AB by Barbado. Fought off some tough pitches and drives one down the left field line. No chance to make a play out there. It landed just inside the chalk. And you said it, Nick. That hit very well may be the one that sends St. James-Smithtown to the semifinal. Now, earlier, as bunt was shown and the runner heads for third, and in there easily is Barbado. I misspoke earlier, Nick. I said that the semifinals were the National Pool semifinal and the American Pool semifinal. What I should have said is the winner of the National Pool and the winner of the American Pool playing in the semifinal at said time. The winner of the American Pool plays second in the National Pool as that's bunted right back to Francis. He gets the easy out at first, and that will do it as Eric Hansen is retired on the bunt. But not before SJS scores their third run to come home in the inning on a 2 RBI double by Andrew Barbado. Nick, let's keep it right here and discuss tomorrow's schedule. I mentioned before, I misspoke slightly. I said the National Pool semifinal was at 11:30. It is the winner of the National Pool that will be playing tomorrow at 11:30. The winner of the American Pool will play at 9 a.m. The winner of each pool takes on the second place team in the opposite pool. So that's something to keep in mind moving into tomorrow. The National Pool winner is South Shore. They will play at 11:30. They will play second place in the American Pool. And Nick, that will be decided tonight. So now, Nick, you're playing in the final game today. The final game today, or the second to last game, second to last game, that will determine the winner in the American Pool. Wouldn't you prefer to play at 11:30 tomorrow versus 9 a.m.?
Well, think of it this way, Joe. Depends on who you want to face.
Well, that was my next question. Do you want to face the 3-0 South Shore team? You're playing in that game, our next game coming up, to avoid South Shore and then play earlier.
It's tough. I mean, I think you look at it this way. I think if you're, St. James and then Scotia Glenville, then you look on the other side where you're looking at, the two teams that are already in, which is White Plains taking on Port Washington. You've already seen what South Shore has done against these two teams, what they've done against Penfield earlier today. You kind of gotten that scouting report as to what you might be facing tomorrow if you win or if you lose that game later on today. I really don't know what the strategy would be. I don't think there's necessarily a strat where I think you just go out there and you just play the game and just see who wins.
I'm with you. I don't think you dive too much into it, but you know me. I love my hypotheticals.
Of course. I think the time difference could be the biggest factor. It depends on if you want to play a little bit later in the day, or if you want to play the first game of the day.
Well, as somebody who does his best work after 12 a.m., I would hate playing at 9 a.m., but the way South Shore has played, I think you'd hate to face them as well. We'll see what comes of that matchup following this game, as George Burmaster is at the plate here. That one chopped foul.
And you would literally think when 2 days ago when we found out when Port and as well as White Plains clinched their spot, you think to yourself, well, there's not much really they're playing for at this point. Yes, there is, folks, because they're now only playing to win their respective pool, but then it decides on what time they're playing as well.
That one fouled back. I think most teams' coaches will tell you what time we play. Not a huge consideration.
Not the huge factor. You just want to be the team. You want to be known as the team that won that respective pool. Considering these are the 8 teams the best teams in New York, you want to be represented as one of those 2 top teams that win your respective pools.
Burmaster goes down swinging for the first out here in the home fourth. But something not to be lost in wanting to be the team that wins your pool, Nick, is that it comes at a cost sometimes. If you go all out to win your pool, you may have to spend more arms than you'd like.
Right.
I don't think either team will let any of their major arms go over the 20-pitch mark. There's no reason to, in my opinion. I think the only situation where I would allow a major arm of mine to go past that is if you're trying to close out the win late in the game.
Basically, what we're saying is, in that next game that we cover, expect a lot of pitching, in my opinion. I think you'll see a couple of substitutions. Not many pitchers throwing over a certain amount of limit, depending on if they have another extra arm.
I think both teams certainly want to win. As that's bounced back toward the mound, Moran will throw over to first, and very quickly, Andrew Patnaud is retired. 2 away in the inning. Jamison Colbeth, the batter here. But you're right, Nick. I think there's a good chance we see 3 or 4 pitchers per side in the next game. I don't think you're letting any significant arm throw more than 20.
Right.
And certainly not more than 35.
You have to keep those arms ready just in case of a worst-case scenario in the semis, and if you get past the semis, the championship game.
Well, they didn't put the pitch on the board, but I think Colbeth had 1-0, yeah. And that one's ripped up the middle into center field for a base hit. Jamison Colbeth with a 2-out single, and that will bring up Logan Francis.
Joe, their first hit of this game, it was a much-needed one. They got something going here. They are down to their final 7 outs, and they need some runs. Can they get a 2-out rally going?
Colbeth stands on first. Francis the batter. The tying run in the on-deck circle would be Jackson Quinn if Francis can keep this inning going.
And we saw in our first game a 2-out rally for South Shore where they were able to get a hit to bring up the batter, Gavin Snell. He hit the 3-run homer to give South Shore the lead. That's all it really takes. If you can get one more batter on base and then you bring the tying run to the plate, all it takes is one swing, and this is a brand-new ball game.
Francis ahead 1-0. Well, Nick, if you're looking for one big swing as Scotia Glenville, you have the right 2 hitters here as they'll throw behind the runner on first. Colbeth back in, but you have a couple of home run derby participants who did pretty well. Francis followed by Quinn. 2-0 pitch, down low, and if you're Moran, you certainly cannot afford to walk the tying run to the plate here.
Can't afford it. Has to throw a strike in this pitch right here.
And he does. It's a swinging strike.
I'd say a half-hearted swing, not a real full swing right there.
I think he was looking for a fastball. He had the same mindset you and I did. Strike coming. And again, Francis comes up
Joe, they
empty
got
on
a chance.
That swing. Yeah, they got him. I don't know what Colbeth was doing getting that far off the base, but he's going to get back.
He's
Nick.
safe. Wow.
Poorly executed run down there, and Colbeth catches a big break.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was trying
dancing,
to do.
Nick. He's been dancing after every pitch, Nick.
It's dangerous at this point. You can't afford to get outs. You need to try to capitalize and get some runs. You're one ball away from bringing the tying run to the plate.
And they had him dead to rights, but he got back.
Second time we've seen a rundown this week where the runner got back in.
And there's a swing and a miss by Francis for strike 3. Francis goes down swinging. Moran picks up the punch out, And once again, Scotia Glenville held scoreless in the fourth. They trail it 3-0 as we head to the fifth.
K&S Industrial is your all-in-one supply and tool store for commercial, industrial, and domestic industries. A leader in HVAC supply stores, K&S provides various building and maintenance supplies for office buildings, industrial plants, schools, homes, and more. We also specialize in getting our customers hard-to-find items. If you're looking for HVAC supply stores that also offer anything else you might need, look no further than K&S Industrial. If they make it, we'll get it. K&S Industrial.
When it comes to sports, why be good when you can be legendary? At Legend Sporting Goods in Brooklyn, we service the community with only the best custom apparel, embroidery, and service, specializing in youth sports, so that the leaders of today become the legends of tomorrow. We're proud to support all of this week's great athletes and invite everyone to check us out and make us a part of your team. Come see why Legend Sporting Goods is in a class by itself. Visit us online or call us now.
First pitch of this fifth inning, line foul by the current Bulls pitcher, Kevin Moran. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out to third.
Well, Joe, if they want to have that opportunity, at least have a chance of that, they have to keep it at 3 runs first off. It's another inning of work for Logan Francis here.
How much would it sting to win the game and have it not matter?
Right.
I think the opportunities for them have just been so limited at the plate. They haven't gotten a base runner past first base.
That was their first chance right there, that last half inning. That was their first single. They haven't had anything realistically since.
They had a 2-out walk as that's lined into left field, base hit. Moran is on for the first time in this game. But speaking of Scotia Glenville, once again, quickly, they had a 2-out walk in the third and the 2-out single in the previous half inning. That's it in terms of base runners. James Santelli, the batter here. Santelli 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He takes a big cut and misses. As that ball hit the runner at first, Moran didn't have much of a lead, and they threw behind him.
Yeah.
Or did it catch the first baseman? I think it caught the first baseman, Nick.
It did.
Kellen Keogh shaking out that left hand.
Yeah, he's calling time.
Not much good is going to come from that throw, given how far off the bag Moran was. He wasn't very far. As we mentioned during the last half inning, Jamison Colbeth was doing all he could to draw attention to himself, getting a lead off of first following each pitch. Count now 0-2 on Santelli. 2-strike pitch, foul back.
Next pitch, Joe, pitch number 85.
This will be all for Logan Francis, and even if his team does not come away with a win in this game, he pitched pretty well. The pitch is obviously piling up for him, as that's 85 right there, but in that fourth inning, he narrowly came very close to escaping danger, but instead, Andrew Barbado delivered a huge 2-run double. That one's bounced through the left side, base hit. And this will be all for Logan Francis. Back-to-back hits to open up the fifth for St. James-Smithtown. And the Scotia Glenville right-hander will head to the dugout, trailing 3-0. Bullpen will inherit a pair of base runners, and he's justifiably going to get high fives and handshakes from his teammates. He pitched really well, Nick. Going to get you the final strikeout tally for him as well.
Can't be mad with the performance he did on the mound today. The run support, unfortunately, hasn't gotten there just yet for them. And that one big blow, that 2-run double, is a difference maker in this game.
10 strikeouts for Logan Francis. He allowed 5 base hits in this game. 2 of those in the first, 2 more here in the fifth. And if you're going all the way back, Nick, to that fourth inning, something we didn't highlight after it happened, the runs that came home were unearned as a result of Francis's own error. That ball getting stuck in his hand or in his glove. He couldn't make the flip in time over to first. That ultimately allowed the 2 runs to score, because were it not for that error, there would have been 3 outs. He then hit the next batter and struck out 2 after that. So there would have been 3 outs in the inning were it not for that error. It makes it sting just a bit more for the Scotia Glenville starter, but no reason for him to hang his head after this performance against one of the best teams in all of New York State.
And now for Jackson Bodden, who comes on the mound, Joe. Not the most enviable spot to come into. First and second, nobody out. Your team can't afford to realistically give up any more runs as it is. And he now has to try to figure out a way how to get out of this jam without giving up at least one of these runs.
Well, if you're Bodden here, there's no way around it. You have to keep this deficit where it is, Nick. You have to.
Yeah.
And if you don't, that is going to require a really big home 5th inning out of your offense. Looking ahead to that, 4, 5, and 6 due up. So you have the firepower coming to the plate to make something happen if you're Scotia Glenville. But as I mentioned before, they need to win by at least 2 runs. And if they don't pick up something in the 5th, that won't be mathematically possible via a walk-off, as they are the home team. The first batter that Bodden is going to face will be Lucas Costas. Costas is 0 for 1 with a strikeout, and behind him, both J.T. Borowski and Gary Rocco are 0 for 1 with a strikeout. So the bottom of the order on the SJS side, really without any success against Francis. Bodden hoping to pick up right where his predecessor left off. Pitch on its way. And that skips to the backstop. Both runners will advance. And there it is, Nick, the wild pitch that we've spoken about, plaguing so many pitchers throughout the week.
Now becomes even more tough of a scenario for you to get out of this without giving up a run. Now, I will ask in a second, Joe, after this next pitch.
That one off the glove of the catcher, but didn't get far enough.
Are you surprised the entire infield isn't in?
Yeah. And I think Patnaud just waved the shortstop Colbeth forward, which makes sense. He did.
Yeah.
That's good direction there by Patnaud. Maybe Colbeth just missed the signal, but infield in all around. And there's a high chopper, and the only play is to first, and they get the out there.
Just barely did.
Just barely. Costas out. In to score is Moran. Over to third goes Santelli, and it is now 4-0 SJS over Scotia Glenville.
And that wild pitch, Joe, that's the big reason that run came in. Now it's a 4-0 lead for SJS. They are closing in on a potential semifinal appearance.
Well, they got the infield grounder they wanted. It was a slow chopper, no play at home. Here's J.T. Borowski, left-handed batter, and he takes strike 1.
Productive out right there by Costas. Did the job. And brought home that run from third.
That one fouled back. Borowski in a 2-strike hole. The 0-2. Did he get a piece? I believe he did. Yes, he did.
He did.
The 0-2. Popped up a mile high on the infield. And it falls,
drops.
But goes foul. Indecision there between first baseman and pitcher. Keogh and Bodden both looking at each other, and fortunately for Scotia Glenville, that bounced foul, though I think they may have had the play at first anyway. I'm not sure that Borowski was running. Another 0-2.
And it hit him in the cleat.
Well, if it hit him, that's a break, and it did, because if it didn't hit him, the run may have scored. So Borowski hit by the pitch. That will load the bases. Check that, first and third. Very messy scorecard right now. But it is first and third.
Had a day off from it 2 days ago. Now you're back at it today.
I needed the practice, Nick.
Well, they have to be worried about this spot, Joe, because we've seen Gary Rocco lay down some bunts this week. So, not saying he will do it in this spot with first and third, but he's certainly a bunt candidate to get a base hit and try to load the bases.
Gary Rocco at the plate. You mentioned it, bunt candidate. And he takes inside. There goes the runner for second. They throw. And that's a good pick by Colbeth. I'm not sure they had to play at second regardless, but Colbeth, if he doesn't scoop that ball and it gets by him, a run scores.
Good play right there by the Scotia Glenville shortstop.
1-0 the count. And that's it out to shallow right. Fair ball, base hit.
They got
and
past the right fielder.
Keeps rolling, Nick.
It bounced off the right fielder. Here goes Rocco over to third, and he's in safe.
That is going to be a 2 RBI triple for Gary Rocco. That ball landed in the one spot that we have no view of from our porch, out in right field. 2 runs in, it's now 6-0.
And this might be too big of a lead for Scotia Glenville to come back into this game, Joe. 6-0, big hit for the number 11 hitter in this SJS lineup.
So will that officially go down as a triple, Nick, or was there an error? Was it a bad bounce?
I would say double error on the play.
Double error, so it is a 2 RBI double. That breaks this game open. It's now 6-0.
It's also tough to win, Joe, when you're trailing by 6, but also 3 big errors in this game for Scotia Glenville have plagued them.
Tough to overcome that. A couple of unearned runs came in earlier. Can that foul ball go down as an error? The one that dropped on the infield? Probably not. It can't, but effectively it is.
Yeah.
It can't, but effectively it is. The ball was not touched. Had it been touched, it would have been a fair ball.
Right.
But that one hurt. That would have been the second out.
Right.
And the new life, affording the extra out, following the hit batter, 2 come in on the double. And then the error allows Rocco to advance to third as Chase Saxon fouls that one back.
Yeah, when plays like that happen, you just award new life, as you mentioned it, to the batter. And Rocco made the most of it. 2-run double, advancing to third on the error. His team now up 6. They're 6 outs away.
And that's hit sharply into left center field for an extra base hit. That will roll all the way to the fence. And not stopping is Saxon. He's heading for third, and he is in with a triple. The ball rolls up the line. He's headed home. And he is safe at the plate.
It's a Little League inside the park homer, Joe.
Saxon will be credited with a triple. The ball got away up the line in left field. He kept on running, and he scores.
Well, Joe, if you remember, he had a pretty good time yesterday in the Roadrunner competition, so I'm not surprised. He said, you know what? I'm going to go all the way this time.
It is now an 8-run ball game. At the plate, Dominic Simonello. That pitch not close. It's 1-0.
You saw at the tail end just getting underneath that tag to get the Little League inside the park homer. Won't officially go down as a homer, but we all know.
We all know what you meant.
Yeah, we all know. And with Joe, we saw this offense on day 1. 11 runs against Penfield. Not a strong showing in game 2 against South Shore, but they've come back to life here in their 3rd game.
And that's bounced toward the middle. Colbeth has it, and he throws to first in time to retire Simonello.
Number 9, Jeremy Cass.
At the plate now, Jeremy Katz. He's in line to win this game. And he rips one into the glove of the third baseman, Estacio. And he's shown off a great glove throughout the week, Nick.
Yes, he has. He's been playing the hot corner very nicely these past couple of days as we now head to the bottom of the 5th.
Well, you thought that was headed to the outfield, didn't you?
Yeah, I 100% did.
Yep.
Can't blame you with that way that one was hit.
No, that was a scorcher. But that will do it for the top half of the 5th. 5 runs home for St. James-Smithtown. They now lead at 8-0.
This tournament would not be possible without the great support of the Staten Island Advance. Not only does the Staten Island Advance have full coverage of the tournament, but we are committed to covering island youth sports year-round and all news close to home. Pick up the paper today and look for great subscriber deals now for our loyal readership. Visit us online at silive.com for news and photos of this week's tournament and all the breaking news on Staten Island, the nation, and the world. The news of Staten Island is the Staten Island Advance and silive.com.
Town Deli, we're glad to be your go-to pizzeria, serving you the best pies, signature sandwiches, and gourmet meals in Staten Island since 1971. Visit us at 5373 Arthur Kill Road to find out why we're the island's best for quick bites and full-sized catering. Whether in person or on location with our food truck making stops and bringing it all to you, Town Deli is where excellence in quality meets taste. Voted the island's best. Stop on in and let us serve you.
And we are back from Great Kills Little League for the bottom half of the 5th inning, as the St. James-Smithtown lead has ballooned to 8 runs with a 5 spot in the top half. And Nick, they are on the brink of clinching their spot in the semifinal.
Well, Joe, I mentioned at that last half inning, that's first game of pool play. We saw this offense explode for 11 runs. They put up 8 runs after the first 2 innings, 4 in the first, 4 in the second. In Game 2 against South Shore, they were shut out for the majority of that game up until the last stages of that one. They got 2 runs towards the end. Their offense has come back to life here in that 5th inning. They put up another 5 spot here this week, and they now have an 8-0 lead, 6 outs away from moving on to the semifinals.
Well, as we know, Nick, and as we've said so many times, it is not over until the final out is recorded. But as we mentioned, Scotia Glenville would have to win this game by at least 2 runs to force a tiebreaker scenario.
10-run inning they need.
That being said, Nick, if SJS is to hold on, they would await the winner of our next game between Port Washington and White Plains. The loser of that game would face South Shore. It would be SJS playing tomorrow at 9 a.m. as that's bounced toward the middle. Base hit. And Jackson Quinn is on to get things started here in the home 5th.
Second hit of the day right there for Scotia Glenville. It's a leadoff single after the second pitch right there for Quinn.
That will bring up Ian Krawinski. But as I was saying, Nick, if SJS does hold on, they take on the winner of our next game at 9 a.m. South Shore would play the loser of our next game at 11:30. And there's a bouncer. It nearly hit the runner. Great concentration by Katz, and he dives to tag the base in time to retire Krawinski.
What hasn't Katz done so far, Joe?
Wow, what a play.
Great bat, great pitching earlier on in this game, and now a great defensive play over at first base for the first out.
It was a good job by Quinn not to get hit by the baseball, and then Katz to keep his concentration as the ball continued through into his glove. He then had to win a foot race against Krawinski as that's bounced to second. That one a much easier play, and they throw out Kellen Arquette. Over to third goes Quinn, 2 away.
Well, effectively, Joe, if you want to count it like this, SJS is now 1 out away from moving on.
Effectively, this is Scotia Glenville down to their final out in terms of advancing. Though, Nick, technically.
That's true, yeah.
If we're getting super technical, as that gets away and
they could
wisely Quinn stops. So you could get to within a run and then walk off via grand slam in the bottom of the 6th. That would do it. That would be the most incredible comeback of all time. You would have to win it via a walk-off grand slam to win by 3 or a 3-run homer to win by 2. That would do it, though. So technically, they would still be alive heading to the 6th inning.
We've seen some crazy games here on PDF.
We sure have. Joe Anastasio ahead 2-0 and now 3-0.
One of those crazy games happened just a couple of days ago.
We had that final game of pool play last year. That game was a 2-run game, nobody out, in extra innings, I believe.
Yes.
It was a meaningless game in terms of advancing for either team. It did not impact the standing of any other teams either.
It got to the point where we had the ghost runner at one point in that game. Yeah. We initially didn't think we were going to have it, but That is a rule now in Little League.
Stasio walks, and Jackson Bodden, the pitcher who finished that last inning, comes to the plate here. But we thought that game was on the brink of finish multiple times, and those two teams had no quit. Once again, in case you missed our analysis during the pregame, Scotia Glenville needed to win this game by at least 2, and they had to do so in 6, which was a given, in order to force a tie with SJS. If they won by 3, they would then win the tiebreaker based on run ratio. That's to the backstop, and that will allow the runner on first, Stasio, to move up to second. Three and 0 the count. Rocco in danger of issuing another walk as that's bounced foul. Three one. To the backstop once again. Back-to-back walks, and the bases are loaded.
Well, can they make things interesting, Joe? Get some runs at least in this inning. Bases will be loaded from his own.
Conference for SJS here. Those insurance runs, Nick, looking pretty good right now, because were it not for that 5 spot, they're turned aside.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Scotia Glenville is very much in business.
We'll be in the midst of another 2-out rally here this week.
Anthony Mazzone will come to the plate. Scotia Glenville needs a lot of offense, but you get the sense that maybe an extra base hit in this spot could spark some life in that dugout, and they can get rolling. Their supporters have not quieted in the slightest. As that bounces to the backstop, here comes the runner from third.
Out.
Ooh, can't make that out at the plate.
Yeah.
I thought he got under the tag. We'll get a look at it on replay, but you can't try that. Quinn tagged out at the plate, and that will do it for Scotia Glenville in the home 5th inning. They strand the bases loaded. Before break, we'll get one more look at that play at the plate. What do you think, Nick?
Would have to maybe slow it down to see if he got the tag on the helmet before he's.
Let's stay here and do that. I thought he got under it, but if the foot comes up before contacting the plate, then he had not touched the plate yet. That's the key in all of it.
I think he might be safe.
I thought he was safe in live action.
Yeah.
I thought he was safe. Admittedly, I thought he was safe. But regardless, that is a risk that is not worth taking, trailing by 8 runs, especially in a game where you need to win by multiple runs. There's just, a really tough outcome from that play, obviously, and you don't want to get shut out. I'm sure that's on your mind as well. Any more clarity, Nick?
I have it paused right here. I'm trying to see. They got the call right, Joe.
Foot's up.
Foot is up. It's not on home plate. There's the tag right there at that time. Right call made.
The man with the best angle makes the call. That's why we are cast out into the outer darkness in right field, and the home plate umpire is doing his job behind the plate. We'll stay right here as we're about set to begin the 6th inning. Our score 8-0, SJS over Scotia Glenville. The Bulls closing in on a berth in the semifinal and a matchup with the winner of our next game between Port Washington and White Plains. South Shore, of course, would then face the loser. Now, we spoke about it earlier. Everything has settled in. We know who the other 2 semifinalists will be now if this score holds, Nick. But if you're Port Washington, if you're White Plains, how hard are you trying to win this next game? At what cost do you want to win?
I think we talked about it earlier. You don't want to throw you want to have as many arms as possible for the semis. I think you see a bunch of pitching changes, but I still think you're going out there to win the game as if it were any other game. I think we'll see a good competitive contest between the two teams regardless, but we will see a bunch of pitching changes, in my opinion, in that game. I really don't think you can afford to throw a pitcher over a certain amount of pitches and then not have the ability to throw them the next day or even 2 days from now in the championship game. So I think we'll see a back-and-forth contest, but I would expect a lot of pitching changes and substitutions in that game as well.
For me, Nick, my approach to it would be, of course, you're trying to win the game. There's no question you're trying to win the game. The way South Shore is played, I don't think you want to face them. What I'm doing is I'm saving the pitcher that I have the most confidence in to close the game. And if I need him to go 35 and not be available for the semis, perhaps I'm willing to do that. I'm not sure I would. I think that's a call you make when the time comes. But I would have my best arm ready to close it out, have confidence in my team to get him a lead, and I'd bring my best pitcher in last. That's what I would do. Meanwhile, at the plate is Ryan Delgado.
And you said you would risk the possibility of him not pitching in the semis?
It would be a wait and see. I can't say I would let him go past 20, but I would bring in the arm I have great confidence in to close and hope that he can do so under 20 pitches.
Yeah, I think if he were to get over 20, I can't keep him in. I think I would take him out regardless.
I'm inclined to agree with you, Nick.
You have to have.
And there's a monster shot to right center field. Goodbye, baseball. Ryan Delgado picking up right where he left off in the home run derby as he launches a solo shot over the tin can in right center field.
That one was a no-doubter, Joe. You saw it right off the bat. He made good contact with that one. We've spoken about it this week. He's made some great contact off the baseball, and that just adds to this now 9-0 lead. SJS is just having a day at the plate.
I think that's as long of a home run as we've seen in game, Nick.
I think so.
That was an absolute tank. And that is only the fourth home run we've seen in game thus far?
Yes. South Shore hit the 2 earlier today. Think of it this way, Joe. We had 1 going in to the Derby, and since the Derby happened, now 3 have happened in the 2 games we've called so far.
Snell, Ulo, Sol, and Delgado, the 4 home run hitters in games, as that's off the hand of Andrew Barbado.
Number 7, Eric Hansen.
Barbado's now been on base twice after being hit by that pitch.
Now, Joe, it's tough for me to tell where that ball landed. Where exactly did that ball land in right center?
I think it took an angle over the shed and landed to the right inside of the back fence.
Okay.
We've seen longer home runs hit.
Yes.
But not in game that I can recall.
Yeah, I was trying to see. I didn't think it landed where the spectators are in right center, but couldn't really tell from the laptop over where I'm positioned right now.
They're looking for it now. I thought it went over the front right corner of the shed and landed against the back fence. That's where I thought it went.
Yeah.
But I was working behind the camera, so I didn't have a clear sight of the baseball. I wanted to make sure we got the ball leaving in the shot. That pitch taken inside, and it's now 3-0 on Eric Hansen. Ball 4. Of the 2025 New York State Little League Baseball Championship. His team on the wrong end of a 9-0 score. We'll head to a quick break and come back.
Northwell Staten Island University Hospital, we strive to address the diverse mental health needs for the community. Listen in for some great tips from the Chair of Behavioral Health, Dr. Rashi Agarwal, and Dr. Brahim Ardolik to support positive outcomes.
Awards and Trophy Center is proud to sponsor this week's New York State Little League Championship. Located at 1600 Highland Boulevard on Staten Island, we pride ourselves in not only building trophies, but building relationships as we service our community and treat you like family. Your event and its achievements deserve the best. That's why Country Awards and Trophy Center is ready to work with all of our clients to make your event a memorable one, with awards, trophies, and gifts that make a lasting impression. Come see why we love our customers and they love us. Visit us today.
And we're back from great kills in a 9-0 ball game. St. James-Smithtown has seen their bats come alive in a big way these last couple of innings. They've been helped by a couple of walks, a hit by pitch. In fact, it was 2 hit batters and a walk over the last couple of innings that have put runners on for them. Ryan Delgado with a monster shot over the big shed in center field, known as the Tin Can here at Great Kills Little League. That ball landed just inside the back fence that separates Great Kills from the Great Kills Swim Club. But Nick, you have to feel pretty good if you're St. James-Smithtown about this performance. 11 runs in your first game of pool play against Penfield. The bats relatively much quieter against South Shore, but they appear to be right back on track in this game against Scotia Glenville. Assuming they close this one out, they have a lot of momentum that they're carrying into the semifinal.
Well, you and I always discuss how big it is for a team when they're getting shut out to get some runs before their next game of pool play. And in that game against South Shore, they were trailing by 8-0, and they were 6-0, I should say, at the time. And they got at least 2 runs to get something going, at least give them some momentum going into today, and that momentum is carried over.
Kevin Moran, the batter, and he bounces one through the middle for a base hit. They are going to send Barbado. He will trot home. And in standing at third, just ahead of the tag, was Hansen. That throw allows Moran to move up to second. And once again, SJS with a pair in scoring position. They now lead it by 10.
Once again, good base running from this SJS team, Joe. They just continue to keep moving the line. Another base hit brings home another run. And it's a 10-0 lead.
Pitch on its way from Colbeth to James Santelli, and that's fouled away. Santelli singled and scored a run his last time. And that's hit well to left field. That ball's carrying, and it lands on the warning track. That will score a pair. Heading for second is Santelli, and he is in standing with a 2-run double.
He was inches away, Joe, from a home run right there. Drilled that one to left field.
That was a line drive that landed about 2/3 of the way up the warning track. Certainly a good home run bid. At the plate now, Lucas Costas. He takes low, ball 1.
Well, now I will say, if you're one of these teams that might have to face this SGS unit, now you're looking at it and saying to yourselves, well,
yeah,
12 runs, and they put up 11 more on day 1, 23 plus the other 2 from against South Shore. That's a 25-run scoring effort from this team in just 3 games.
However, Nick, you won't have to face Jeremy Katz as that's bounced to short, and the throw goes to first in time. Now, if memory serves, Katz started game 1 as well, right? A couple days ago?
I believe so, yes.
Number 21, J.T. Borowski.
At the plate now, J.T. Borowski.
I think this is the other dangerous thing. This contributions from SJS have been from top to bottom in this entire lineup. In a game that they needed the most, their lineup has really produced.
Count 2-0 now on Borowski.
Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Joe. I think I have tallied 10 hits. I might be a hit off.
That pitch on the inside corner. Count 2-1 now. There's a swing and a miss, 2 balls and 2 strikes. All right, let me get you that hit tally, Nick. I have 9. As that's hit out to left for another base hit.
Well, there's 10.
I'll count for you again momentarily.
Okay. It's now 13-0 SJS.
The rally continues.
Another 5-run inning.
It's an RBI base hit for JT Borowski. In to score is Santelli.
Might have added an extra hit because I thought I missed giving a hit to Delgado when he hit the home run.
There's 10 hits.
It is 10 hits?
There's 10 hits.
Okay.
Oh, and 1 the count on Gary Rocco, and he's hit by the pitch.
Yeah.
They're closing in on batting around, Nick.
It's back to the top of the lineup.
Number 0, Chase-Saxon.
9th man to the plate in this inning for SJS is Chase Saxon. He looks at a strike, 0-1.
It is a tough one for Scotia Glenville, Joe, because if you look at it after 3 innings, it was still a 1-run game. And they were 1 out away from keeping it a 1-run game heading into the bottom of the 4th inning. But that play over on the mound where it was bobbled by the pitcher, Francis, and then they couldn't get the out there. So there's another wild pitch.
Well, those have been problematic at times. But I think if you look at their outing in this state championship, overall, they just didn't hit enough outside of that 1 inning against Penfield, as that's fouled away. They didn't score against South Shore, and it was 4-0 heading into that final inning, correct, against Penfield?
Penfield was up 4-0.
They scored 3 in that inning.
Yep.
And they haven't scored in this game. But I did say yesterday, again 2 days ago, but I might have mentioned it yesterday as well during the Home Run Derby as we look back on some of the other games in pool play. This team has put together some good at-bats. They're not going up there chasing bad pitches. They're not looking completely overmatched. They just haven't had those loud extra base hits and the quantity of hits that these other teams have had. It hasn't been as prolific of a lineup, but they have put together some good at-bats and done good things at the plate. It just hasn't translated into the hits and runs column yet.
Number 34, Dominic Simonello.
Base is now loaded for Simonello.
10th man to the plate in this inning. Simonello, 1 for 3, make it 1 for 2. Singled, hit by a pitch, ground out. And there's still just 1 out in the inning, Nick.
Yep.
Hard to believe. Our first game was done in about an hour and 10 minutes as that's fouled back. It was a really quick game. This game now closing in on 2 hours.
I believe our next game scheduled for 1:30, right?
No.
No. I don't have the time in front of me.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, okay.
And Colbeth having trouble finding the strike zone right now. He's behind 2-1. And when you go back following the conclusion of pool play and take a look at the run totals as that's bounced to 3rd, and that's a good play to step on the bag. The batter must not have run.
Yeah,
that
no,
was
Johnny.
not a close play at first.
Simonello hurt himself on the way to first.
Okay.
He's limping.
Well, you hate to see that in a game that looks to be decided, a 13-run game. Simonello gingerly making his way back to the dugout, but officially that will go down as a 5-5-3 double play. And with that, we head to the home 6th. SJS over Scotia Glenville, 13-0.
State Little League Championship is proud to have Dave & Buster's as a proud sponsor. Where are you going after the game? There's only one place with delicious food, ice-cold drinks, games on the big screen, and fun for the whole family. Food and drink specials are available all week with the latest video games and the biggest arcade on the island. Redeem tokens for great prizes and come back often because Dave & Buster's is the place to be for game day and all the days in between. Turn on the fun with Dave & Buster's on Staten Island.
The Staten Island Ferry Hawks are proud to be a sponsor of this year's New York State Little League Championship because one championship organization deserves another. Come check out another amazing season with us at Staten Island University Hospital Community Ballpark with great ticket and group deals, theme nights, and fireworks displays. Good luck to all of our teams this week from your friends at the Staten Island Ferry Hawks. We'll see you at the game.
Home sixth inning from Great Kills Little League, where this game has been broken wide open by the Bulls of St. James-Smithtown Little League. Over 2 of their 3 pool play matchups, they have combined to score 24 runs, 11 in their pool play opener, 13 more today, just 2 in their loss against South Shore Little League. They have an opportunity to perhaps face South Shore again should they win in the semifinal tomorrow. To get there, they need to record the final 3 outs of this game and not allow a walk-off 3-run homer or grand slam. That's the only way Scotia Glenville could cover the necessary run differential to eliminate them. So it would require a huge inning, and for Scotia Glenville, they'll be looking to crack into the run column for the first time. They send 9, 10, and 11 to the plate. And the inning may begin with an infield hit, but the robbery is pulled over at third. What a play by Delgado.
Delgado first hit that mammoth home run, Joe, and that previous half inning, and now makes a great play over at third.
1-5-3 off the bat of Anthony Mazzone. It looked like a potential infield hit. Instead, Delgado, with the strong throw to first, just able to get Mazzone. Now Kellen Keogh, the batter, he takes low, ball 1.
Not an easy play. He had to bare hand that one just to make the throw over at first base.
Yes, he did. What a play it was.
Something also to know, Joe, as well, Dominic Simonello, we did see gingerly go off the field last half inning. He is out there for this inning, so that's a good sight to see if you're an SJS fan.
Yeah, with how far up the line he was after they got the out at third, I thought he must not have taken off full speed to first base.
After he made contact, it looked like he just lost his balance, and he went down towards home plate, got back up, but couldn't really run out the play.
Count now 2-2 on Keogh with that last swing and miss. Pitch to the backstop. Count full on Keogh. He looks to reach for the first time. Scotia Glenville in this game has had 4 base runners, 3 of them reaching via the base on balls, and make it 4 of the 5 base runners. Overall 6 actually, 6 base runners. I need to circle my base runners, Nick. That would be helpful.
That would probably help.
That would help. That's the best way to do it. But I said it in the last half inning. Though they haven't piled up the hits and haven't scored many runs, this team has put together good at-bats. 4 walks drawn in this game, a couple of singles, but they haven't been able to break through with those big extra base hits consistently enough to put runs on the board. This is George Burmaster at the plate, behind no balls and 1 strike. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Count now even 1-1. We're going to have a very quick turnover coming up next. Port Washington taking on White Plains to determine the winner of the American pool. And the winner of that game will face this James-Smithtown team. Count 1-2 now on Burmaster, and he goes down swinging.
Nice strikeout right there by Hansen, and they are now 1 out away.
Back to the top of the order. Andrew Patnaud, the batter. Patnaud ahead here, 1-0. So far in this game, he's 0 for 2.
Look at that breaking ball right there.
Big hook. Big hook. And you can see it now late in this game with the pitching changes. SJS keeping their arms under 20. And that might do it. If it stays in play, Delgado just not tall enough to reach over that fence.
You know what? You got to give Delgado props at least, Joe. He did try to jump up and make the play.
You get the feeling that in a couple of years, 2-3 years, that might be a maybe for him, jumping and leaping over that fence.
Absolutely.
The 1-2. Bounce toward the middle, backhanded by the second baseman, and flipped over to the shortstop. Simonello makes the flip to Barbado, and that will do it in our 11th, make it 10th game of pool play. SJS on to the semifinal. They await their opponent following the conclusion of our next game between Port Washington and White Plains as they defeat Scotia Glenville 13-0.
Well, the SJS bats came back to life, Joe, after a rough showing against South Shore. 13 runs for SJS in this game, the bulk of it coming in the later parts of this one. Barbado really broke the game open earlier on with that 2-run double to put them up 3. They added a lot more, obviously, afterwards. We saw Ryan Delgado with a mammoth home run, and they now move on to the semifinals. Our next game will determine what our semifinal matchups are. But, Joe, I want to give a quick shout-out to Scotia Glenville and the rest of their fans that did come here in attendance here this week and, of course, have watched us here at the PDF Sports Network. We've mentioned it during the parade. That was their first sectional title since 1968. It has been a very long time for this team to get to the New York State Little League Baseball Tournament. They got back here this year, did a nice, great showing. Unfortunately for them, their pool play hopes have ended, and they now move on to next season. But a great showing nonetheless from not only the fan base here, but the players on the field as well.
Well, we spoke about it when the week began, Nick. For many of these players, this experience will be once in a lifetime. Not many players get the chance to come back and compete in a state championship twice. And for these Scotia Glenville players, they've done something that league has not done in many, many decades, as you mentioned, since 1968. Unfortunately for them, they did not pick up a win in this state championship. But as I said, they just didn't put together the extra base hits they needed to put runs up. They had traffic, they had opportunities, just couldn't convert. No reason for them to be upset with their effort here this week, though it did not yield them a victory. On the other side of things, SJS with a huge bounce-back win that has to feel good for them. If you're entering the semifinal, you'd like to do so with a great deal of confidence. If their confidence was shaken at all by the loss against South Shore, I think it's safe to say they got that confidence and swagger back with their win in this game over Scotia Glenville. But as we mentioned, quick turnover for Nick and I. Our next game scheduled to begin at 2 p.m. will feature Port Washington Little League taking on White Plains Little League. The winner of that game takes the win in the American pool and will move on to tomorrow's semifinal against this St. James-Smithtown team. We find out which team it will be taking on the Bulls and which team will face South Shore. Coming up next, Port Washington and White Plains right here on the PDF Sports Network.